Last week, this package dropped on my physical doorstep. It is Shadows over Vansreik by Bad Badger Games. If that doesn't ring a bell, I did a video on this Kickstarter quite a while ago. As a matter of fact, I remember some of you saying that Bad Badger Games, a company many of us never heard about in the past, was offering quite a lot of stuff for quite a bit good amounts of cash, and it kind of looked like a scam. Well, I'm holding it in my hands right now, and as far as I can see, it is real physical stuff that also looks pretty damn good. Now, I haven't had a chance to take a proper look at this, but I'm actually planning on reviewing this in the near future. As a matter of fact, at the very point I decided to review this stuff, they come with a new project. Hi there, fellow roleplayers and game masters. My name is Mr. Drosk, and today I want to talk about Bad Badger Games, a company that has flown under many people's radar. I've talked about their first Kickstarter a while ago, Shadow over Vansreik, which is a grimdark, low fantasy setting with new 5e mechanics, very interesting 5e mechanics that has just dropped on my doorstep. I haven't taken a proper deep dive into this yet, but I'm planning on reviewing this later this month. So if you're interested in checking that out, make sure to hit the subscribe button and all of that stuff. Also, I've taken a look at the preview PDF of this in another video. Make sure to click that video if you're interested. And they're already doing a new project called Desolation of Time. Link in the description below. Bad Badger Games is one of those companies that I know little about. This is the first physical stuff I have in my hands from them, but I'm already really impressed. So it comes with this black, really cool black sleeve with 2 books in it. Then there is this city events card deck, which is ongoing events, points of interest, quest hooks, and combat encounters for cities. So if your players are in a city, you can just take a card from it and be like, oh, there is a mysterious auction. Mysterious auction is the items up for bid. These can range from rare magical artifacts, ancient tomes, forbidden knowledge. So you got information about the NPC who's doing the auction, about the auction itself, some tips on role-playing stuff about it. So this is just a deck with all kinds of random city encounters, from combat encounters to quest hooks to all kinds of stuff. Use a game master can use for inspiration or just having a random night of random city dwelling. There's also a very cool, I would say a very cool Dungeon Master screen, Game Master screen here, which looks like this for the player side, and then has all kinds of stuff in the back, like you'd expect. Stuff, like I said, Shadow over Vansreik has a bunch of interesting new mechanics, and a bunch of these mechanics are on here for the Game Master, and that is one of the selling points about it. It's really low fantasy in a way that if you cast a spell in this setting, it will have much more of an effect than when you cast a fireball or whatever in a high fantasy setting like most of us play. And there's something else, because they're called Bad Badger, they gave us a badger. And as you can see, there's 2 books in this black sleeve from Shadows over Vansreik. One is called Shadow over Vansreik, and then the other one is called Mercenary Companion. Really interesting. Now, there's 2 really big downsides, complaints I have about this thing. First one, it's not Bad Badgers Games' fault, it's the fault of the mailman absolutely fucking up, because they kind of screwed up my my thing here, and there's all kinds of scratches. Most of them you can't even see on camera, but it's really badgered up, and yeah, that sucks. But also something that I kind of don't really like, I don't like the brown with the black. I know I'm nitpicking, but this is beautiful deep black, and then there's this shit brown book in here, which by itself looks like a really great book. It's a really great looking book. It is this one, the Mercenary Companion, right? Which has this really cool emblem on here with the sword, and it is a welcome to the world of mercenaries, those who trade blood for coin, those who chase goals beyond greater calls. Mercenary Companion is a colossal collection filled with new rule sets, brand new realistic weapon types, enriched game mechanics, and a complete guide to mercenary warfare. It includes a vast collection of mercenary guilds, 100 unique mercenaries, GM guide content, content and supplementary material for 5th edition. I think a part of this was already part of the preview material that I looked at in the other video, and I deeply remember deeply liking this. So this might be the book that I'm reviewing before the other one, because I really like the idea of a mercenary compendium. There's also a map, we'll be showing you that in a bit, and then there of course is Shadow over Vansreik, which has this really cool cover. I still remember some of you saying like it looks like a scam, we didn't know Bad Badger Games, they're offering too much for too little coin, all of that stuff. So a 5e adventure for characters levels 1 to 8 and a starter setting guide to the Lands of Exile. The Lands of Exile is the grim dark campaign setting. There's gunpowder stuff in here, and it really gives me like that fantasy setting with hints of steampunk. And with steampunk, I don't necessarily like mean literal steampunk, but like the feeling of steampunk, like some Western Wild Wild West, which is a great movie. I will die on that hill, kind of feeling. So yeah, that's it. And then there is a map. I always love it when they do that. There is a little poster with really cool artwork, as you can see. Oh my god. And then there is a map of the city of Vansreik. Vansreik. The city map. And I think they did a really good job with making it more like, it's not like top to bottom, it's more like camera angle is more like this, if that makes any sense, which I really like. Although there's a lot of copy pasting going on right here, which I like a little bit less. Like, that's really copy pasted here. Look at this. It's just copy paste. It's just all the same. Don't really like that. So, and then there's like a map, right, with some more artwork on the back, so you can see what you want to use. Man, this is such deep. Oh, I remember a lot of you were also saying that it looked like AI art, which I double checked. It is not AI art, but some of you were like pointing fingers and being like, oh, AI art. And then there's a QR code to Desolation of Time, which is a perfect segue, because that's what I'm talking about next. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Desolation of Time, a grim adventure and grimoire for 5th edition. Now, the reason that I structured the video the way I did, by first talking about Shadow over Vansreik and what all of the stuff that you get with it, is because this Kickstarter you're seeing right here plays in the same kind of broad setting as Shadow over Vansreik. So Desolation of Time, a grim adventure and grimoire for 5th edition, plays in the Lands of Exile. The Lands of Exile is are the lands introduced in Shadow over Vansreik. It is a campaign setting. It is all fleshed out in this book, by the way. There's like a lot of pages of information about it, and Desolation of Time plays in that campaign setting. Now, that does not mean you need Shadow over Vansreik in order to play or enjoy Desolation of Time. It is its own concept. It is its own thing, its own adventure. It's its own just whole new thing. But if you have Shadow over Vansreik, it's really cool to expand on that campaign setting with this. Or if you want to get in now, this is a great opportunity, because if you get this, you can, as an add-on, of course, take Shadow over Vansreik. I think the Book of Mercenaries is also an option as an add-on, all of that stuff. Now, they've been live for, if I'm not mistaken, 1 day. Yes, 30 days still to go, and they already pledged, let me see, in dollars, $35,370 out of the $8,000 goal. They were funded in 1 hour, which is pretty damn amazing. I'm still waiting for 5 more backers for my own Kickstarter campaign, link in the description below. So anyway, let's talk about what you get. So there's still an early bird. I think the early bird still going, because it was, let me see, is there still an early bird? I don't know if there's still an early bird. So you had the chance of getting yourself a D20, all that stuff. So as you can see, Desolation of Time, again, there is so much stuff. Dungeon Master screen, books, maps, dice, card decks. It comes in PDF form. It comes with Foundry Virtual Tabletop Edition, all of that stuff. They're doing the sleeve thing again. So the sleeve that I just showed you, but they're just doing another one with the 2 books they are going to try to create right now. out? Well, safe to say it's coming, because basically they already like overfunded by a shit ton, and they still have 30 days to go, which is absolutely crazy. So Desolation of Time, Wrath of Nature, a wild 5e adventure full of mystery and horror for characters of level 1 to 5. A dark, high-stakes 5e adventure focusing on exploration, combat, and puzzles for characters 5 to 9. A huge bestiary, 50 plus monsters, exploration encounters, a deck of encounters, wilderness and exploration parts, survival mechanics, survival elements, and more than 250 pages of content per book. So the Book of the Dead is going to give you 10 new subclasses, 4 new lineages, corruption system, which sounds really interesting, resurrection rule sets, dark and complex rituals, magic items, curses, theme appropriate feats and backgrounds. So in total it's gonna wait, this is not working. In total, it's going to give you like 500 pages plus of content. Now, something that I want to talk about in a second is the free demo booklet you can download for yourself. You can just click the link in the description below, download it for yourself, and see if it's for you, because there is a demo booklet. And something really clever they're doing every Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, Tuesday, yes, they're going to release another freebie. There's going to be a custom inventory, travel, and companion sheets, a dark ritual, new subclass for barbarians, and a standalone one-shot adventure. Just to give you like the idea of the vibe of the Lands of Exile and the Desolation of Time books. So without further ado, I just want to take a quick glance at the free PDF booklet. Here's a demo booklet of Desolation of Time, as you can see, with some great artwork on the cover of this bad guy who's basically like, they call him the Old One, or if I'm not mistaken, and they are basically like, they rule over the lands of exile, and they have the power to create things, but they also want to like destroy the things they create, and they have children, and the children cannot create things, but they have the power to control over nature, and it's this entire thing. It's actually really pretty damn interesting if you read about it. And then they go into the demo booklet. Just going to put this on 2 pages. This doesn't make sense. This should be like this. Okay, so as you can see, great freaking artwork here, and immediately it is you can see that this kind of plays in a setting where there used to be a setting, basically, and it is all decayed with time, and there is like this lost civilization kind of feeling about it. As you can see, there's this was probably a statue or something that just got buried under like time and sand and the sands of time almost. So they talk about what you get with Desolation of Time, like what is in the book, what is in the demo booklet. They talk about the corruption system that is coming, resurrection rules set, dark rituals, all that stuff. Look at this guy. It's really cool. Is this a bullet? Is this a bullet? I don't know. It's pretty freaking awesome. They talk about how everything intertwines with like Shadow over Vansreik and the first books and the first booklets and everything they're doing with the Lands of Exile stuff. And then they even give us a subclass that sounds pretty damn cool. It is the Cleric Void domain. All gods claim some aspects of creation as their domain, and their devoted clerics work according to their god's definitive nature. But not all gods have interest in the created things. Some forces beyond the veil see all of the creation as weak and disgusting. These are gods that favor destruction, of course, but destruction and chaos in itself is a thing at the end. That's a weird sentence. But there are some beings that only crave the peace of the nothingness. So the Void domain gives you some really cool domain spells, just like Bane and Command and Blindness and Deafness and Blindness, Deafness, and Invisibility. The spell magic. Starting at first level, death is not what you seek, but it is better than life. Death things fade away much easier. When you deal necrotic damage to any creature by any means, you regain hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. This feature only works once per turn on the first time you deal necrotic damage. That's pretty cool. I like that it doesn't like take the damage, like the damage you inflict, like let's say you do a d8 of damage and you do 7 damage, you don't regain 7 hit points, you just regain your proficiency bonus worth of hit points. That's a mechanic I don't think I've ever seen, but I love it. Serenity of the Void. It's a channel divinity. You can use it as an action. You choose up to 4 creatures you can see within 30 feet of you. These creatures are blessed with the Serenity of the Void, and they cannot cast any spell until the end of your next turn. Wait, there isn't a save? These creatures are blessed with the Serenity of the Void, and they cannot cast any spells until the end. There should... What? There should be a DC there. Like, God, having, like, I don't know, fighting 4 people. Let's say you're fighting 4 freaking spellcasters, and you do this. They cannot cast a spell in, like, the first round of combat. That is just a little, it's really cool. I love it. I love the idea of it. I love the flavor of it. It just needs a DC, to my opinion. Beginning at 6th level, when a creature within 30 feet of you regains hit points by any magical means, you can use your reaction to block that life energy. Target must succeed. This should be the target. Target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC, or the target cannot regain any hit points from that effect. That I like. Call of the Void, I really like. There's a DC tied to it. If they don't make it, they cannot regain hit points. Yeah, really cool new subclass option. There's new stuff. There's more stuff. There's lineage options for like the Forgotten, who are damned for eternity. So there's a lineage option. Lineages are basically races. Now they're like splitting. A lot of companies are splitting up lineages and heritages. Again, a lineage is... your blood, where you come from. Like if you were born from 2 dwarfs, your lineage is basically dwarf, but you could be raised by humans, so your heritage is human, right? So you could have like skills, natural born skills from being a dwarf, but you can have skills from humans that you learned by being with humans for the entirety of your childhood. So I actually like it that way. I like it that way. There's new magic items in here. Warm Fang Dagger, Flask of Rivers. This common looking metal flask is always cool when you touch it. When opened and poured, the flask produces up to 2 gallons of cold and clear water. Once emptied, the flask refills in 1 hour. Any water poured from this flask that isn't consumed within 1 hour turns into sand. That's really cool. A Flask of Rivers is really cool because the way I see it, happening in my game with a magic item like this, I would first have my players almost die from dehydration. I would have them go into the desert, and knowing my players, they would be totally unprepared. Like, totally unprepared, and it would go into the desert. Our dungeon master, our game master will give us rest places and wells with water, and then I will have them roll DCs. I will have them almost die from heat and dehydration and all of that stuff, and then at the right time they will get like a rest, and they might go into a tomb or something and find something like that, and then they're like, oh my god, we need that, we were so thirsty. That's why I like that, those simple magic items. And you can really see that these magic items aren't just like, oh, we need a few magic items to put in this book. No, it's a magic item that actually makes sense for the setting, right? That's what I like about books. I like how proper game design just makes stuff make sense for the setting that they are creating it for. So if Desolation of Time is something you are interested in, make sure to click the link in the description below. I completely and totally forgot to say in the beginning of this video, if you haven't noticed the paid sponsorship tag on this video, thank you so much, Bad Badger Games, for sponsoring this video. And if you at home on the toilet or in front of your TV or in front of your computer while you're supposed to be working but you're actually just watching Mr. T on YouTube, want to get your hands on this sleeve with the 2 books on the Game Master screen, on all of that stuff, make sure to click the link in the description below. Consider backing Desolation of Time, getting all of this stuff as an add-on. And until next video, bye-bye.